Aleta is the fin of a shark. It's quite interesting because it all started with a drawing that was actually based on the fin of a shark, which is the top part. That's why we have a little shark there. What is interesting of this chair is that it has been designed with the idea of making a chair that is actually for every single aspect of the contract market, which means you can have it multiply and produce very quick. So it's like a chair that doesn't have a lot of molding. It's actually manufactured in a speed way, but rich in quality at the same time. There's a lot of details in the down part to make it easy to be upholstered. There's the idea of a tubular leg. So it's easy, you know, when they're doing vacuum cleaning and stuff like that, it's easy to go into like the heavy work, yeah? So it's meant to be for all kinds of interiors. You can have it in a hotel, you can have it in restaurants, you can have it in different ways. Collection has a small chair, which is a little bit of a stool. We have a normal chair, which is a dining chair without armrest at the moment. And then we have a stool, which is like a bar stool, which is actually used with a high back and a low back to be comfortable in a bar. At the end is a collection that is actually high quality chair with an affordable price, able to work on the general contract market, which I think it's new to me. As in general, I haven't done that many contract chairs actually. And I'm really proud to say that it's all made in Spain and it's all produced properly there, which is really nice because we don't have so many companies, but the companies we have, we really love them. And I'm really much happy to work with Ricardo because they're very serious and also people that really believe in design, which is what I like at the end. I have a tendency of inventing animals. I don't know why. You know, I'm a bit bizarre with that. My animals are weird. Sometimes they are dogs, but they have bodies of, chickens. Sometimes they are like birds, but they have like things that don't belong to the birds. So it's a bit surreal. It was drawn by hand, and then it was placed in a rock, which actually could be a painting, but it's on the floor. For me, it's an art piece. There's no difference about it.
My impression is definitely, well, I'm surprised about it. It's such a strange thing to have worked a lot in a project, and this project has a lot of details. So I don't know where to look. I'm kind of like looking right, looking left, looking down. I even forget things I've designed. It's kind of like far away. At the same time, I'm totally like overwhelmed by the beauty of how it's built and done, and it feels I've been working with them, very near all the time, even though we were distanced by the moment we're living, and by the fact that I was totally on a lockdown in Spain and they were in England, building these. It's quite amazing that it's so understandable and it's like perfectly done. So pretty much very grateful surprise, I would say. Yeah. Well, basically the guts of the table are really important because like I wanted a table that it doesn't really occupy so much space within a house. So I'm pretty much in the limits of what can pass through a door in a normal house in a city. Yeah. At the same time, it's done that that you have a mechanism that is so complex, like a little bit of a I said it's like a Swiss knife. Yeah, you sort of take out certain elements to improve its usability, and the idea of being flexible through a moment in which we need to do a lot of things which are very different, like dining, like having sharing moments, with eventually your family, having private moments, the table detaches suddenly, and then it becomes, totally for a person and not for everybody. So it's this very crazy sort of table that it's built up of a need, of a very personal need. And it's the way I wanted this table to be in my situation. So down, yes, it is to discover. There's a lot of things that you will see. There's spaces for pencils. There's, attachment to tables. There's little exits in which you can, display some things and not worry about them yet, you just can leave them there and then focus in another part of the table. I think I have a lot of favorites. I love the way the flowers are set up with the ikebana, which is really nice. I think it's a beautiful piece that you can let the customer, finish the work by enjoying the flowers. It's like an empty vase. I think I don't have a favorite because every work I do in general, it becomes a little baby for me and I learn from it. So, I would say I invite people to explore the place, to enjoy the exhibition, to look at the work and see the beauty around. I think there's a part of the soul that it's actually represented there. So the table has this ability, as well as having shelves and things which are down, it's kind of like put there and then you can put up. So this is a little bit how the table works. It's a very, very mechanical table. This is actually why I call it with this crazy name of being a mesa machine, yeah? Because it's like a machine. It's not a mesa anymore, even though I find it very elegant. and very refined because of the type of material and the elaboration. But in general, I'm really happy with the fact that it's just full of surprise. If you start to look, you'll find a lot of closets and things. Definitely. The most difficult part of this table is actually the fact that it has a lot of mechanism in it. And it needs to feel light. It needs to feel pretty much easy by the eyes, but at the same time, you have tons of different movements going right, left, inserting, getting out of the actual shape of it. So, this fact and the fact that it's solid wood, it is very, very challenging. Wood is a natural material. It moves. It's not like a fake material. It's a material that has life, that it has a certain type of humidity, a certain type of behavior through the changes of weather. Already being in Madrid, which is humid, being done in England, which is, Madrid is very dry, but if you think about England, it's like much more humid. So the changes in between humidity and dryness would already affect the fact of the table eventually being cracked or something like that. So it has a lot of challenges in the way of how is it built. And I think we actually undertook a lot of dialogue as well as a lot of drawings and a lot of details, through sketches, through actually determining those challenges. And the design intelligence and with the fact of elaborating solutions and seeing if it works or not. Life, it's seen different when you observe it different, when you look at things in another perspective. When you get that and you learn how to do that, then you innovate and you find also the pleasure of life, I think. Stories that I've worked for Fritz Hansen for like the last decade, for almost 10 years, and I've designed some of their furniture. Now I did also the accessories and a lot of different things, so I think it was quite natural that suddenly somebody would ask me to design the space as well. So I tried to make a space without any edges, like more curvy, more, like with a right use of color, I think. The part that I enjoy the most of the process is probably the fact that this was a 1950s house and that we tried to conserve the windows and some of the architectural outside elements to it and try to integrate some modernity in it. And this kind of sense of style that I have, put together with tradition fits really well. And I think that's quite innovative and quite challenging. This is the way we actually made it, but it's an extremely complicated table. It's not easy at all. You have to be a top of the list wood shop to be able to build these, and you have to use very rich and very perfectly dried wood to be able to make every single detail that these pieces have. So I must say it is fascinating how even online we would be able to make something so particular and so elaborated. So this is the big challenge of it. Also distance, obviously, which is we didn't see our faces, we have a limit. Reality is very different, huh? Opticity, when we look at something, I can now see a few things I would maybe make a little bit different, but I'm satisfied anyway. At the 99.5%. We're always looking for perfection, so when you're here, you see it different. Yeah. Well, this wood is a fantastic material. It's actually very sophisticated, and it was used in many years by very good architects because of the beauty of its elaboration. It's a bit reddish. It conserves this sort of dryness, this sort of beautiful color, no matter what you're cutting through it. It has this appearance which is a bit reflective sometimes, so it gives this sense of, I wouldn't say luxury, but I would say it gives this sense of sophistication, even though it's a humble material. So I find the cherry wood a material that is very, very, very powerful to make your pieces even better. I worked with a lot of wood through all my career, 20 years non-stop. And I can tell you that the cherry is probably one of my favorites, though I didn't find the right partner till now to be able to elaborate such a piece. So I'm very delighted about it. And I see the perfection of it through the work, the reflection, the fact that you can make very, very soft little surfaces, very thinner surfaces, and still be very strong, very powerful. Nothing to say with the fact that we have areas that have 4 or 5 centimeters, which actually are fantastically solid, and this means strength through generations. This is why this material is amazing. It's actually a pleasure and an honor to work with it. It's very, very pure and sophisticated.
Designer and an artist from Madrid, and we're here at my office in Valencia, in Spain. We're here to talk about Plenum, the new sofa system I have designed for Fritz Hansen for the office. When we thought about the chair, the first thought that I had was that we had to make something that had to be as comfortable as a sofa we put at home. Plenum has this beautiful sculpturality. The light goes into it in a smooth way because of having the upholstery, which is in your back with 3 pillows. One holding your neck, it becomes extremely comfortable. We use textiles from Quadrat with the new palette of colors. Plenum is a system in which we have different sizes, a size for 1 person, 2 person, and 3 persons. Plenum has different accessories and we're planning to do more, but for now we have a round table, and then you have the sockets with USB and plugs internationally, so you can plug anything you want in the down part. And people can choose, they can bring it with or without it, depending on the use they're gonna have. So it's pretty flexible. Fritz Hansen, they've got a great expertise, they've got tradition, and they've been part of the pillar of design for many years. I've got my southern flair, when I go there. The colorfulness, the idea of questioning the kind of textiles they use, the form. So I think the great combination in between us, the success that we had in the last years has been that we've been both pretty open to each other and sort of brought the ingredients to cook something different. Offices have changed a lot during the last years. The office is an open space, it's like a home. People want to feel like home when they're working. Therefore, we're in a hybrid moment. We need chairs that are in between. Pieces that are a little bit more light, more human, more colorful. With furniture like Plenum, you just connect with someone and you say, hey, I have something to tell you. Why don't we sit down here and have a chat about it? You can have your best idea or your nicest conversation while sitting in a very small little private space.